The morning air was cool and quiet in a small neighborhood in Lagos. The streets were almost empty. Only a few people were outside, sweeping their compounds and getting ready for the day. At the end of the street, a young girl walked slowly with a small black travel bag in her hand. Her name was Princess. 6 months ago, she had left this same street with laughter, dreams, and hope. Now she was back. Her shoulders were heavy. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Every step toward the small house felt harder than the last. She stopped in front of the old gate and stared at it. Nothing had changed. The same faded paint. The same flower pot beside the door. The same house where her mother had raised her alone after her father passed away. Princess took a deep breath. She lifted her shaking hand and knocked softly. Inside the house, Mama Grace was washing plates after breakfast. She frowned when she heard the knock. Visitors hardly came that early. She dried her hands with a towel and walked toward the door. The moment she opened it, she froze. Princess! Her daughter stood there without saying a word. Her clothes looked untidy. Her hair was no longer neat. The bright smile that once filled her face was gone. Instead, she looked tired and broken. Mama Grace stepped closer. My daughter, what happened? Princess tried to answer, but no words came out. Her lips trembled. Then tears rolled down her cheeks. Mama Grace's heart began to race. She looked at her daughter carefully. Then she noticed Princess gently holding her stomach. Her eyes widened. Princess lowered her head. Mummy, she whispered. I'm sorry. Mama Grace felt a chill run through her body. Sorry for what? Princess closed her eyes. I'm pregnant. The words hung in the air. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Mama Grace slowly sat on the wooden chair beside the door. Her hand shook. Where's the boy? Princess wiped her tears. He left me. Silence filled the room. Mama Grace closed her eyes. Suddenly, memories rushed back. She remembered the day Princess received the happiest news of her life. Back then, everything had seemed so perfect. 6 months earlier, Princess was lying on her bed when her phone vibrated. She picked it up and stared at the screen. Her eyes grew wide. She read the message once. Then again. She couldn't believe it. Suddenly, she jumped to her feet. Mummy! She ran out of her room so fast that she almost slipped. Mama Grace looked up from the kitchen. What happened? Princess held out her phone with both hands. Mummy, I got admission. Mama Grace blinked. Admission? Princess nodded excitedly. University of Lagos. For a second, Mama Grace simply stared at the phone. Then tears filled her eyes. She pulled Princess into a tight hug. My daughter is going to university. Princess laughed happily. I told you I would make you proud. Mama Grace smiled through her tears. You already have. That moment meant more than admission. It was a reward for years of sacrifice. Mama Grace remembered waking up before sunrise to work. She remembered skipping meals so Princess could eat. She remembered crying alone after losing her husband. Every struggle had been for this day. She looked at the family picture hanging on the wall. Your father would be smiling today. Princess followed her mother's eyes. I'll make both of you proud. Mama Grace smiled. I believe you. The days passed quickly. Soon it was time for Princess to leave for school. The night before her journey, she packed her clothes carefully into a suitcase. She checked her phone every few minutes as messages from friends filled the screen. University life is about to begin. Don't forget us. Princess laughed. She stood in front of the mirror and imagined her future. She pictured herself making new friends, wearing beautiful clothes, and enjoying the freedom of campus life. She believed nothing could go wrong. Outside her room, Mama Grace folded clothes quietly. She knew the house would soon become empty, and she wasn't ready for that silence. The next morning, Princess dressed in a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. She grabbed her suitcase and rushed toward the door. Princess, Mama Grace called gently. Come and sit with me for 1 minute. Princess looked at the time. Mummy, I'm almost late. It won't take long. Princess sighed and sat beside her. Mama Grace held her hand. You are going to meet many people. Princess nodded. Some will truly care about you. She paused. And some will only pretend. Princess reached for her phone. Mama Grace gently touched her hand. Look at me. Princess looked up. Never let anyone buy your heart with money. Princess smiled. Mummy, I'll be fine. I know you're smart. Mama Grace's voice became softer. But the world is not always kind. She squeezed Princess's hand. If you're ever confused, if you ever feel lost. She smiled gently. Come home. Princess hugged her tightly. I promise. Neither of them knew that promise would one day bring Princess back to the same doorstep, with tears in her eyes and a completely different future. Princess arrived at the University of Lagos with a smile that would not leave her face. The campus was full of life. Students walked in groups, laughing and taking pictures. Cars moved slowly along the roads. Music played from a nearby hostel. Everything felt new. Everything felt exciting. Princess looked around and whispered to herself, "This is where my new life begins." As she walked toward her hostel, she noticed people looking at her. Some girls admired her confidence. Some boys turned their heads as she walked past. Princess smiled, but kept walking. A few moments later, her phone rang. It was Linda. "Princess, where are you?" Linda asked excitedly. "I'm on campus." "You finally made it. Stay there. I'm coming." Within minutes, Linda came running toward her. The two girls hugged tightly. "I missed you," Linda said. "I've missed you too." Linda stepped back and looked Princess up and down. "See you. You look like a celebrity." Princess laughed. "Stop teasing me. I'm serious. Half the boys on this campus have already noticed you." Princess rolled her eyes. "They're only looking." Linda smiled. "Just be careful." "Careful of what?" Linda looked at her with a serious face. "Not everyone who smiles at you has good intentions." Princess laughed. "You sound like my mother." Linda smiled. "Maybe your mother and I think alike." The girls laughed and walked toward the hostel. The first few weeks passed quickly. Princess settled into campus life. She attended classes. She met new people. She enjoyed taking pictures around the beautiful campus. Life felt perfect. Then one afternoon, everything changed. Princess and Linda were walking back from class when a shiny black SUV stopped beside them. The windows slowly rolled down. A young man stepped out. He looked confident. He wore clean designer clothes, a gold wristwatch, and expensive sneakers. His name was Kingsley. He smiled politely. "Excuse me." Princess turned. "Yes. I'm looking for the Faculty of Business Administration." Princess pointed down the road. "It's straight ahead." "Thank you." Kingsley smiled. Then he paused. "You must be new here." Princess smiled back. "Is it that obvious?" "A little." He stretched out his hand. "I'm Kingsley. I'm Princess." Kingsley repeated her name softly. "Princess." He smiled. "That name suits you." Princess laughed quietly. Linda folded her arms. She had seen enough. Kingsley looked at Princess again. "Maybe I'll see you around." "Maybe." He got back in his car and drove away. Linda waited until the car disappeared. "I don't like him." Princess looked surprised. "You don't even know him." "I don't have to." Princess laughed. "You judge people too quickly." Linda shook her head. "No, I pay attention." Princess smiled and changed the subject. A few days later, Kingsley called Princess. He invited her to lunch. At first, she refused, but Kingsley was patient. Finally, she agreed. He took her to one of the nicest restaurants she had ever seen. Everything looked beautiful. The tables sparkled. The lights were warm. The food smelled amazing. Princess looked around in amazement. Kingsley noticed. "You like it? It's beautiful." He smiled. "You deserve beautiful things." Princess smiled. Nobody had ever spoken to her that way before. During lunch, Kingsley listened carefully as she talked about her dreams. She spoke about graduating with good grades. She spoke about helping her mother. She spoke about building a better future. Kingsley nodded. "I believe you'll do it." Those simple words made Princess feel special. When lunch ended, Kingsley drove her back to campus. Before she got out of the car, he handed her a shopping bag. Princess looked confused. "What's this?" "A small gift." She opened it. Inside was a brand new smartphone. Princess's eyes grew wide. "Kingsley, this is too expensive." He smiled. "It's only a phone. I can't take this. I bought it because I wanted to." Princess looked at the phone again. It was more expensive than anything she had ever owned. Slowly, she smiled. "Thank you." Kingsley smiled. "You don't have to thank me." Across the road, Linda saw everything. That evening, Linda entered Princess's room. "Can we talk?" Princess nodded. Linda looked at the new phone on the bed. "Did he buy that for you?" "Yes." Princess smiled proudly. Linda did not smile. "You've only known him for a few weeks. So, why is he spending so much money on you?" Princess shrugged. "Because he cares." Linda sighed. "What does he do for a living?" "He said he's in a business." "What kind of business?" Princess became quiet. I didn't ask." Linda stared at her. "You accepted an expensive phone from a man whose job you don't even know?" Princess crossed her arms. "You're thinking too much." "No, princess. You're not thinking enough." Princess frowned. "Are you jealous?" Linda looked hurt. "Jealous? Yes. Because someone finally treats me well." Linda shook her head. "I want you to be happy, but I also want you to be safe." Princess looked away. "Kingsley is different." Linda sighed. "I hope you're right." Days turned into weeks. Kingsley became a bigger part of Princess's life. He called every morning. He picked her up after classes. He bought her clothes. He paid for dinners. He took her shopping. Princess loved the attention. She began spending less time in class. She stopped studying as hard. Her social media became filled with pictures of luxury restaurants, expensive outfits, and beautiful places around Lagos. People commented, "You're living the dream. Your boyfriend is rich. Girl, you've made it." Princess smiled every time she read those comments. She believed she had found the perfect life. But she never noticed what she was slowly losing. She answered fewer calls from her mother. She hardly spent time with Linda anymore. One evening, Mama Grace called. Princess looked at her phone. "Mummy calling." Kingsley smiled. "You can call her later." Princess hesitated. Then she pressed decline. It was the first time she ignored her mother's call. She told herself it wasn't a big deal. She had no idea that one small decision would become the beginning of many bigger mistakes. Life seemed perfect. Princess believed she had found someone who truly loved her. She no longer questioned the expensive gifts. She no longer wondered where Kingsley's money came from. She simply enjoyed the life he gave her. But one evening, everything changed. Princess was waiting for Kingsley in his apartment. He had gone into another room to answer a call. Suddenly, his phone vibrated on the table. Princess was not trying to spy on him, but a message appeared on the screen. Her eyes stopped on the words. "The money has been delivered. The next job must be done tonight." Princess frowned. Another message appeared. "Make sure nobody finds out." Her heart began to beat faster. "What kind of business is this?" she whispered. Just then, Kingsley walked back into the room. He saw his phone in her hand. His smile disappeared. "What are you doing?" Princess looked at him. "What are these messages?" Kingsley quickly collected his phone. "You shouldn't touch my phone. I'm asking a simple question. It doesn't concern you." Princess stared at him. "I deserve to know." Kingsley looked away. Then he forced a smile. "Don't worry about it." But Princess could not stop worrying. For the first time, she realized she knew almost nothing about the man she loved. A few weeks later, Princess began feeling sick every morning. At first, she blamed the stress of school. But the sickness continued. Linda noticed. "You don't look well." "I am okay." "No, you're not." Princess finally went to a pharmacy. She bought a pregnancy test. Back in her room, she locked the bathroom door. Her hands shook as she waited. A few minutes later, she looked at the result. She froze. She checked it again. Then she slowly sat on the bathroom floor. Tears filled her eyes. "No." She covered her mouth to stop herself from crying loudly. Her whole future flashed before her eyes. Her education, her dreams, her mother. Everything suddenly felt uncertain. The next day, she asked Kingsley to meet her. He arrived with his usual smile. "What's wrong?" Princess looked into his eyes. "I'm pregnant." Kingsley's smile disappeared immediately. "What?" "I'm pregnant." For several seconds, he said nothing. Then he leaned back in his chair. "This can't happen." "It already has." Kingsley rubbed his forehead. "I'm not ready to be a father." Princess felt tears gathering in her eyes. "I'm scared too." Kingsley avoided her eyes. "You need to solve this." Princess stared at him. "What do you mean?" "I can't be involved." Those words broke something inside her. "You promised you would always be with me." Kingsley stood up. "Things have changed." Without another word, he walked away. Princess remained in her seat. She watched him leave. He never looked back. From that day, Kingsley disappeared. He stopped answering his calls. Her messages remained unread. His apartment was empty. It was as if he had vanished. Princess felt completely alone. One afternoon, Linda found her sitting quietly under a tree on campus. Princess. Princess looked up. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Linda sat beside her. What happened? Princess could no longer hide the truth. I'm pregnant. Linda's eyes widened. And Kingsley, he left. Linda closed her eyes. She remembered every warning she had given her friend. But this was not the time to say, I told you so. Instead, she held Princess's hand. We'll find a way. Princess shook her head. I don't even know how to face my mother. Linda spoke softly. Your mother loves you. Princess looked away. I disappointed her. Linda smiled gently. Then go home. Those two words stayed in Princess's heart. Go home. The following morning, Princess packed her clothes into the same black travel bag she had brought from home months earlier. This time, there was no excitement. No dreams. No laughter. She boarded a bus back to Lagos. As the city passed outside the window, memories filled her mind. Her admission, her mother's smile, Linda's warnings, Kingsley's promises, her mother's final words before she left home. If you're ever confused, come home. Princess quietly wiped away another tear. When the bus stopped, she slowly walked toward her street. Every step felt heavier than the last. Finally, she reached the small house. She knocked. The door opened. Mama Grace stood there in silence. My daughter. Princess lowered her head. Mummy, I am sorry. Mama Grace looked into her eyes. What happened? Princess could no longer hide. I am pregnant. Mama Grace slowly sat down. Where's the boy? He left me. Silence filled the room. Mama Grace closed her eyes. She remembered every warning she had given her daughter. For a moment, she felt anger. She felt pain. She felt disappointment. But then she looked at Princess. She no longer saw a stubborn young girl. She saw a frightened daughter who had come home because she had nowhere else to go. Mama Grace stood up. She walked toward Princess. Princess expected a slap. Instead, Mama Grace hugged her tightly. Princess burst into tears. I am sorry, Mommy. I know. I should have listened. I know. I've ruined my life. Mama Grace gently held her face. No, you made a painful mistake. She wiped away Princess's tears. But one mistake does not decide the rest of your life. Princess looked at her mother. You still love me? Mama Grace looked surprised. You will always be my daughter. Princess cried harder. For the first time in many weeks, she felt safe. Life did not become easy overnight. Healing took time. Princess stopped waiting for Kingsley's calls. She stopped looking at his social media. She stopped believing expensive gifts meant love. Linda visited often. Mama Grace never left her side. Slowly, Princess found her strength again. One morning, Mama Grace walked into her room. Princess was reading her textbooks. Mama Grace smiled. You've started studying again. Princess nodded. I still have dreams. Mama Grace smiled proudly. And you can still achieve them. Months later, Princess returned to the University of Lagos. She walked through the same campus. The buildings had not changed, but she had. Linda smiled as they walked together. So, Princess laughed. So what? If another rich man with a luxury car asked for your number? Princess smiled. I'll ask more questions before I answer. The two friends laughed together. As they walked away, the narrator spoke. Sometimes, the people who warn us are not trying to control us. They're trying to protect us. Money can buy gifts. It can buy clothes. It can buy expensive dinners. But it cannot buy true love. Real love brings peace. Real love brings honesty. Real love brings responsibility. Princess lost her way, but she found the courage to come home. She learned from her mistakes. She chose to stand up instead of giving up. Because life is not about never falling. It is about having the courage to rise again.